you very much to Dr. Proman and obviously to all the executives, to all the players, coaches, parents, etc. It's always an honor and a privilege to speak to a group of people that are passionate and love hockey. And if you'd asked me a year ago if I'd have been doing it in South Florida, I'd have probably offered you $1 million to do it. But instead now I'm getting paid to be here. So a little bit of the background just to fill you in. For those of you who don't know, Kingston is basically right on the border with Watertown. In fact, I met somebody tonight already that's from Watertown. There's a lot of connections to New York State. So I grew up very close to the U.S., but a heck of a long ways from the sun of South Florida. Again, growing up in Canada, you're kind of born into hockey. It's a religion, and I'm the youngest of 4 boys, so whether I wanted to or not, it's probably amazing that I didn't become a goalie, because if I start to stumble and stutter in this speech, it's because I took a lot of tennis balls off the head in my basement, thanks to my 3 older brothers, because by default, you're always the goalie when you're the youngest. Again, hockey is a religion in Canada, so for us, it's something that we take for granted. It's been very, very invigorating for me to come to Florida and see how much passion and how much knowledge there is about the sport. Quite frankly, it caught me a little bit off guard. You hear so much about football being king, baseball, basketball, college hockey, but I was so impressed by the level of passion that our fans have. We hope to reward you next year by a playoff spot, and again, I know that's a broken record. You've heard a lot the last few years, and I'll get into that in more detail as we carry on. But again, I've had the privilege of playing hockey in an organized league since I was 4 years old. We have a little different stream in Canada. High school hockey wasn't in vogue when I played. It is now. I've got some nephews that are in it now, and it's one of the best things. Ironically, I played high school football, and those memories are the best memories I have of sports. There's nothing like playing against high school to high school to evoke some passion and some energy. It's terrific. I had the good fortune of playing junior hockey in Canada. We have a different stream than down here. I played in the Ontario Hockey League, which would be the equivalent of NCAA Division I. That's kind of the rival. And then I ended up obviously having the good fortune again to coach in that league. I had to get an education because after about 50 games, when I looked at my stat sheet with 1 goal and 2 assists, I quickly realized I'd better have a plan B in place, because quite apparently I wasn't heading to the NHL. Perhaps I should have stuck to goaltending down in the basement, but I didn't. Again, following that, I went to 4 years of Canadian University, which is a very competitive level of hockey in Canada. It kind of flies under the radar, again, because junior is the equivalent of NCAA D1. That gets all the focus, all the attention. But I went to school, got an education, and then promptly disappointed my parents because I've never used it, as they say, and I got into coaching. And again, as the coaching path, the resume may have indicated, you have to love what you do in this business. There's been a lot of time in a moving van. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was single for most of it. But my dear wife of soon to be 6 years, we'll be married 6 years in July. She's moved 4 times with us. And my son, who will turn 2 in August, this is the 3rd place he's lived. So you have to have a lot of support behind you, similar to the hockey player. But again, most of the best speeches I've ever heard are also the shortest speeches, so I'm going to try to accommodate both here, guys. I'm not going to keep you here very long. I think I owe it to you guys to give a bit of an overview. As part of the Florida Panthers, this has been a huge education for me, not only learning about South Florida and living in a place that is completely foreign to me, coaching in the NHL for the first time, obviously the highest level of hockey that you can get to. It's a dream no different for coaches than it is for players, but also getting to understand the passion and all of that goes about trying to sell the game in a southern market. And it's very important for us, and we're very proud of our participation with the league. And I know Dr. Proman and I have talked about it. Again, I'm starting to learn more about it. We hope to be involved a lot more, not only in this league, but also the grassroots everywhere, to try to grow the game and hopefully have a lot more people share the passion that all of us in this room do about hockey. Because if we can get more of the best athletes in Florida playing hockey, it does us all a world of good. And that's kind of one of our goals from a Panther standpoint, is because we want to see the kids enjoying the game that a lot of us in Canada grew up as second nature. We want to develop that into a second nature down here so we can rival the football and baseball program. And as I said before, this was our first year of the new coaching staff. We brought a lot of energy and excitement that we hope made up for what we lacked in experience. We fell short of our ultimate goal to get into the playoffs. We tied for the 8 spots, which is well documented, but close only counts in horseshoes, and unfortunately we weren't playing horseshoes. So We're very excited about what the future lies with the Panthers, and again, we want to revive what it was. We heard a lot this year in our run to the playoffs about the Rat, and I can remember sitting at home in Canada and watching the great run the Panthers had, and getting to meet guys like Billy Lindsay this year that experienced it firsthand. And again, when that building of the BAC is full, it's one of the loudest buildings in the National Hockey League, and I think it's our goal to make sure that it's full every night. And we have to do our bit. We have to entice the fans in, not the other way around. So whatever we can do to bring people out, that's our mandate first and foremost. And again, just kind of in closing, one of the reasons I love the game, and again, I'm the luckiest guy in the world because I get paid to do something I love. There's a ton of volunteer coaches out here, I think 18 teams in the league, and a volunteer executive. These are the guys that deserve all the accolades, and I've had the good fortune to win a couple gold medals representing Canada, but again, in any system, the true heroes are the people at the grassroots. Whether it's the coaches, the referees, the volunteers, that's what fuels everything. And I think the players in particular, and players only, if you could give your parents, your coaches, your trainers, the executive, everybody a round of applause right now, it's well deserved. But I think the tie that binds us all together is, and the great part for me in sports, but in particular hockey, is the emotion and the passion that goes with it. And again, it's just such an energetic building. One of the real true defining moments for me this year was my first trip into Madison Square Garden. As a kid growing up in Canada, I'd experienced Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto and perhaps the atmosphere in Montreal, but going to Madison Square Garden where as a kid you grew up, you're watching all these different events there, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. And I remember standing on the bench at the start of the game thinking, like, my God, I'm getting paid to do this. What an honor, what a privilege it is. I mean, that to me is what hockey's all about. The best players in the world are the ones that play with most emotion, good and bad, with passion, and truly care about what they do. We're getting great examples of that right now in the playoffs. I had the good fortune with that World Junior team in 2005. That was the year of the last lockout in the NHL. So we had what was considered to be a bit of a dream team. We had Sidney Crosby kind of front and center, but we have a number of kids that were kids at that point that are now prominent players in this playoff run. And the one thing that tied them all together was just how much they loved the game. That's the great part about getting the opportunity to speak at a banquet, is because we all love that. So I want to congratulate each of you on your accomplishments this year as a team. The greatest memory in the world. You know, it's easy to, on a resume and an introduction, to highlight championships. But you probably highlighted, I've been playing since I'm 4, and as Dr. Proman let the cat out of the bag, I'm now 40. So if you can list all the championships I've won on one screen, that means I've lost one heck of a lot more than I've won. But sports, and in particular hockey, is not, we don't play it because to win a championship. If that's your only goal, you should probably get out now. You play it because of this, the people you meet, the friends. I have lifelong friends that I met when I was 5 years old playing hockey in Canada, that to this day remain. And the one tie that's mine, I met Pete DeBoer in 1986 playing junior hockey against him. I was playing in Kitchener, Pete was playing in Windsor. Played against each other, we've coached against each other. It's a really, really small circle, the hockey fraternity, and you might go to war with each other on the ice, but as soon as you cross paths at a golf tournament or whatever in the summer, it's a passion that unites and ties everyone together. That's what it's all about. You want to play for the friendships, you want to play about learning how to be a team player. It's a lot of things that as kids right now you get hammered with in school, you hear it, yada, 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 but trust me, down the road you're really going to appreciate a lot of the intangible values you learned from this year, in particular in your whole hockey career. So best of luck in your scholastic endeavors this year, in your academics, in your athletics, and again, thank you very much for letting me be a part of your night.